Hey YouTube, this is Arthur, and in this video I'm going to show you a little something that I'm going to do to this Ibanez RGMS7. Now I got this guitar about a couple weeks ago and I've been really enjoying this, but the only thing that I hate about it is its glossy surface. It's so shiny and glossy, it's just like stripper's pubis, if you know what I mean. In just a matter of a couple of weeks it got covered in all of these tiny scratches, and it collects your fingerprints so well, and it's kind of hard to take them off. So I decided to do something about it, and instead of going with just, the glued veneer on top, I wanted to do something cheaper and easier because I don't have the required instrument. So I just got some wood texture vinyl. So I want to reskin this whole thing. Now, before you start throwing your poopies at me, keep in mind two things. First, I've already done this to this guitar, and this is my second attempt. I just want to take it on camera and redo this whole thing so you can see, and I wanted to do it just right. But the first time I did it, it was really something I did not expect. It looked just real wood, and I got some posts over on Instagram where you can see that. People who saw this, they didn't believe it was just vinyl. So that's number one. And number two, it's really cheap, and again, if you don't have the required instrument, you can do it to your guitar in just a matter of a couple hours, and you'll see the result at the end of this video. So let's dive right into it, and we'll go step by step. I will reskin this whole guitar, and we'll have a look at the final result. Now, first off, here is the kind of vinyl I got. I don't know what this is. If you know what this is, you can feel free to leave a comment down below. Maybe at some point in the future I will actually do a full veneer, but so far I just a cheap fuck. So let's now start gluing this thing on the guitar. And so I start by taking the skin and just picking the pattern, the part of the pattern that works best, and then just cutting out the rest. And then I'm cleaning this with some wet napkins for LCD displays. And I started from the handrest because it's just easier to start with a bigger surface and then work your ways to the horns and to the little parts. And from there you want to make sure you don't leave any bubbles, which can happen when there's air trapped beneath or some little dust. It really depends on what kind of vinyl skin you're using. If it's really thin, matte, without any texture kind of vinyl, then you'll most likely end up with lots of those bubbles. And so then I just cut the excessive skin. And the star of the show is actually the hair dryer, which you can steal from your mom or girlfriend or wife. I got this from my wife. The best thing about this skin is you can warm it up and then stretch so that it bends over the edges real nicely, as if there are no joints, no overlaps. The toughest part is probably the horns because they're too pointy, and it's quite a challenge to get it right. So I had to play around with that for a little bit. And the rest for the top is just to cut out all the holes for the neck pocket for the pickups. You don't have to cut it real clean. You can use the hair dryer to just bend the rest of the skin, which will actually look nicer than if you just cut it straight over the edge. This will show. It will look like pretty much like wood, which just keeps going deep there. If you know what I mean. You can see it on the video.
And so finally I'm cutting the holes for my volume pot, and for the 3-way toggle I decided to ditch the 5-way and also the grounding for the bridge. And so here we're switching to the sides. I'm just using a wide stripe of that vinyl with a very straight one side, which I'm applying so it just covers a little bit of the excessive top vinyl. Looks pretty consistent. And then with a hair dryer, you just make sure you bend it over. So again, there are no joints. And if you're afraid that you will scratch the factory paint, no worries, you will. Again, I will probably peel off the paint at some point in the future, so I don't really care if I leave some scratches here and there. Cutting the sides on the handrest, probably another tough part. You need to make sure you take it clean off, and then that kind of melt with the fan, so it doesn't feel like there's a joint, so nothing scratches your arm, because the skin there is very sensitive and you can feel that. And then you just do the same thing with the back. And probably the toughest part, the back of those horns and the neck pocket, the back side of it, which I couldn't get right even from the second attempt. There's still some mess that you can't really see on camera, but just believe me, it's there.
This whole thing took me about 2 hours or so, and drum roll, here is the result. As you can see, this thing really looks like wood. I mean, unless you look close enough to see some of the joints, that I'm not sure if I can catch them on camera, but apart from that, it looks really dope. As you can see, I installed some golden hardware, the golden saddles, 3-way toggle, and a nice looking pot with something like black pearl in it. And this whole thing cost me about $40 or so. I'll leave the links down below to the AliExpress merchants who sell this kind of stuff. So I also glued another piece here on the headstock, and I still need to change the tuners because these are okay, but I want the golden ones, something like locking tuners. But I mean, overall, I'm really happy with this mod. You know, looking at it from what it used to be, like just real black glossy thing, it is definitely a step up. That is not to say that I won't be changing this, because this is a temporary solution. I mean, I still want to do something like veneer, something permanent. But so far, here's what we have. So thanks for checking in, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Maybe it'll inspire you to do something like this to your guitar as well. I'll be posting another video with changing the pups. I ordered myself a set of 14 pups, uppercuts, to replace the stock ones. And I'll be making videos with comparison and sound clips as well. So stay tuned and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.